So there should be a chat. There should just be a chat, and you can just answer in terms of a couple of things. So I want you to actually think, and this is mainly for the students, but um, if parents want to answer some of these, that would be fine as well. So, how confident do you currently feel about your GCSE exams? What are the different emotions that you're coming across at this point? And what in particular is it that you feel scared about? And also in your revision, and this is mostly for your maths and your physics exam, what is it that you are struggling with the most? Okay. So if for the first one you want to give me on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident you feel, that would be good. So five being very confident, one being not confident. Also, what are the different kind of emotions that you're feeling right now? Are you feeling burnt out? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling anxious? All of these kind of emotions that you're coming across. And then also, what is it in particular that you're struggling with the most? So let's see if I get anything. Okay, so you've got 3 out of 5. Yeah, I'll let you guys type for a while. Okie dokie. So we've got stress getting into sixth form. Yes, of course. Getting into sixth form is incredibly difficult. Um, okay, in particular language, geez, English language. Okay, amazing. So Victoria's got kind of neutral, burnt out, a bit anxious, not really scared. Finding revision techniques that work for me. Yep. Cover all the content in detail. Yeah, because you're 4 weeks away. There is so much content. So where do you even start? Exactly. That is really, really difficult. And then Abbas has got language. Okay, you were doing Mandarin. Yes, I knew that. So yeah, that's difficult. Okay, so um, yeah, okay, that's amazing. Omra, is it okay if I get you to mute yourself, please? Okay. Brilliant. So a lot of you have already said this in the chat, but we've got too much content to revise, not knowing where to start, passive revision methods, which is a really, really big thing. And then also you've got lack of structure, and this is something that I know is so true from all my years of experience tutoring is that most students, they work really, really, really hard, but they are just revising very, very ineffectively. Okay, so these are a couple of things that I've come across and people before have told me that they are struggling with. Okay, so exams, like I said, are very close. 4th of May is the start window for your GCSEs, and then they'll go all the way up to the 26th of June. Your first core exam is on the 11th, and early June that's when you've got your main maths and science peak exams. So again, very, very close. So by the end of the Easter holidays, you will literally be 4 weeks away from your first GCSE exam. Okay. So this is good to kind of have this laid out to see exactly how you can plan your revision now. Okay, so because I'm mainly a maths teacher, I've got physics as well, but most of my students are doing maths with me. Your first maths exam, note this down, and obviously note all your subjects down is on the 14th of May. Then you've got paper two on the 3rd of June, and then paper three on the 10th of June. And a couple of the May ones I've highlighted here, these are English, and then you've got your chemistry, and then you've got your first maths exam as well. Okay, so English Lit paper one is literally 11th of May. Paper two is on the 19th. And then you've got your language paper on the 21st, your chemistry paper on the 18th. So this is in May, which is next month. Okay, so I want you to have all of this noted down, stuck on your walls, like get post-it notes and stick them on your fridges, on your walls. You know what is coming up, you know your countdown. Some countdown apps are also really, really great. And also, after this session, what would be really, really good as well is to uh, work on a timeline. Okay, so you've got a month till, let's say, your first exam. You want to make a list of the subjects that you are going to prioritize. This is really, really important because if you're going to choose something for A level, then that's going to be your priority subject. Maths and English will undoubtedly be um, prioritized as well. So, maths and English, no doubt, that is incredibly important. If you fail, you will have to resit it. And then you've got the subjects that you want to do at A level. Okay, so if that's chemistry, if that's English, if that's history, then they should be on your list as well. Okay, and then you're going to create a timeline. Okay, and if you're not sure where to start or what to do for a subject, this is really important. This is what I really, really suggest for all my students is that you are going to use checklists and use a traffic light system to plan your sessions. Okay. So what you can do if you're again not sure where to start is print out a past paper, grade how you feel on each topic in the past paper. So each section, like you've got your physics section one, section question one, question two, sorry, and then you're going to put that as okay. I got 0 out of 10 on this particular question, so that definitely goes in the red. So let's say Newton's laws in that particular topic is now in a red. You don't know it, so you're going to prioritize that. And also the stuff that you know, you should have it clear that you know it and you know it quite well so that you're not spending time just reviewing stuff that you already know. Okay. So that is also incredibly important as well. And then again, I would say list out your topics, block out times that you are going to study. And when you've blocked your study times, you'll know exactly how many study hours you have until your exam, and you've planned out each study session in detail. And again, I would not use AI for your actual learning because AI is going to, AI is it's great. It's great for planning and planning out how you're going to do things. But if you're using it for learning, it comes under passive learning. So that's not going to be very beneficial to you. But AI is great for planning. So if you give AI your routine in terms of times that you're available to study, so let's say 2 to 3 hours a day, and then you give AI from the stuff that you've checklisted and know that you are difficult, that you're finding difficulty in, then you would literally, if you use AI, it will be great in terms of giving you a routine and giving you a great plan that you can then stick to. Okay. So you've got a question. So AI to mark and grade your work. I'd say it depends. So sometimes AI isn't very accurate. So sometimes it can be very good, but sometimes it's not that accurate. And so you don't want to give yourself you don't want to give yourself false hopes that you're doing really, really well. So it's always good to get it remarked by a teacher, especially for a subject like English, because there isn't a clear-cut answer. It is probably better for the sciences and maths than English, I think. Uh, but AI is still learning, so it can get a lot of things wrong, but it's learnt planning very well. So if you feed it like a nice prompt in terms of, you've given it all the information, you've given it your exam dates, you've given it the topics you struggle with, the topics you want to prioritize, it will give you a really nice block out. It will give you a really nice plan, and then you can just block it out in your calendar. So for my tutoring, for my planning, for my leisure activities, I use Google Calendar, which works really well for me because it gives me reminders as well. So it would be good if you want to use Google Calendar, or you can manually have a plan as well. Because for Easter holidays, which first week is gone now, but for your second week of the Easter holidays, and also for next week, um, sorry, yeah, that is next week. So for your second week of the Easter holidays and for study leave, if this is going to help you so, so much, if you have a very clear plan. And even within the subjects, write the topics as well. Yeah, so from the list of your red and yellow, when you've graded it using the traffic light system, you can start adding the topics you need to work on, just so that when you start studying, you have a very clear plan of what you are going to use that for. Okay. So this type of calendar is amazing, especially for holidays, half terms, which there's going to be a half term between your exams, and also for study leave if your school allows you to go on study leave as well. Okay. Again, this is stuff you do not want to do now, okay? Passive revision, it's not good when it's 4 weeks before your exams and when you need to understand concepts and you need to do loads of practice. So if you're reading notes at this stage, please stop, okay? It's not doing you that. It's not doing you any favors. Reading notes, you want to avoid that. Just blatantly highlighting textbooks, you do not want to do that. And also, another thing is a lot of people think watching videos is really helping. But if you're watching videos without pausing them, trying questions, understanding it, watching videos is also a no-go. Please stop watching videos if you are not pausing it, testing yourself, seeing what you remember. So these are methods that build. So these are methods that feel productive, but they don't actually help you as much as sometimes your brain thinks they do. So Omar, you've got, when reading textbooks and abstracting the information into notes. Okay, reading textbooks and then putting it into notes is great, but that should have been done already. Okay, so it isn't bad to have your set of notes, but it should have been ready already. And if it hasn't, then at this stage, you don't want to be reading textbooks and making pretty notes anymore. Okay, that should have already been done earlier on because now you want to actually implement and do stuff that feels harder. Yeah. Okay, I'll come to how after doing past papers what you can do as well. But you don't want to just highlight textbooks or you don't want to just read through stuff because reading stuff it doesn't sink in as much. Okay? Now, this is some of the techniques this is a way of remembering what kind of techniques do really, really work and some stuff that you should be focusing on it. So I call it the SAD techniques, and it stands for spaced repetition, active recall, associations, and and desirable difficulty. Okay? So spaced repetition, that is revisiting topics over time. So to get things stuck in and into your long-term memory, you want to have a very clear plan on how you will revisit. So if you have covered something in one session, after 7 days, you want to cover it again. Yeah, so it sinks in a bit more. After 16 days, you want to do it again. After 35 days, you want to do it again. So I'd say week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Try and space it out like that because that is going to really, really, really help you. Active recall is when you're forcing your brain to blurt out the information that you have took in. So this could be through quizzes and it could be through testing yourself from flashcards or explaining things or blurting and other techniques that I'll come to. So this is what you want to use. Associations. Your brain, it really likes linking things, and that is how you will learn. So associations work really, really well. So if you associate a topic in physics to maths, for example, your brain will understand that topic a lot better. And mind maps are great for this. And then D is for desirable difficulty. So what I mean by this is if your revision is feeling quite easy and you're not having to think much, your brain is like a bit on and off and you're still revising, then it's not taking information in that well. But if something is quite difficult and you don't really want to do it, but you do it anyway, that's when learning actually happens. So your study sessions, even if they are short, they should feel a little bit challenging. Um, and there should be that kind of challenging nature to them without putting you off it completely. But they should be a little bit difficult, and that's why doing past papers and problem solving, this works really well. Okay. So yeah, practicing exam questions really, really helps. We've already looked at identifying weak topics, using the feedback that you are given. So when you mark a paper, really go through the mark scheme and note down where you went wrong. That will help you so much because I would I would want you to do that paper again after you have then gone through those topics, like Omra was saying as well, and then following a structured revision plan, and also active learning. So we've gone through those. Okay, so now you've got 4 weeks at the end of Easter. You'll have 4 weeks. Now, what I would recommend is using the first week, so using kind of next week and the week after, to go through loads of past papers in exam conditions, then mark those and then highlight where you went wrong, what topics you went wrong. And then the second week is you would use this week to now strengthen your understanding on all the weaker areas using active recall, flashcards, topic tests, and all of these. And week 3, you kind of do the same, but you would focus more on topical questions on those topics. And then the last thing you can do is redo the same past paper or the same past papers. This is so important. And if you can, you might want to do this in week 3 as well. Because if you've done a past paper and you've got questions wrong, if you then just completely brush that aside and move on to a new past paper, and let's say you get the same questions wrong on the same topics, just on a different past paper, then what have you achieved? You have not gone up any grades, you've not got better marks. So it's really important that you kind of follow this framework of really focusing and pinpointing on the areas you went wrong, correcting them, and then using that same past paper because you might have forgotten most of the questions anyway by the third or fourth week. So that is again really like a really good thing that I would highly, highly recommend. And so for identifying your weak topics in week 1, go through the spec if that is too long, because sometimes the specifications are quite wordy and they're mainly for examiners. And teachers, so they can be quite wordy. Then you can use like a good checklist, and I've got loads of checklists available if you need them, so I can send them over. Then, secondly, try and go full past paper, timed conditions, simulate an exam, maybe go to the library and put on some headphones and put on a timer and keep doing the paper, even if you finished it until the timer goes off. That is important. And again, that will be a struggle. It will not be easy doing that. But again, if you're struggling with your revision, it's a very good sign. If you're burnt out after a 1.5 hour or 2 hour revision session, that's a good sign because it means you've done something worth something. It's quality revision. You haven't just watched a video lightly or just read through something and you're happy dappy, you come back and it doesn't even feel like you've done anything. So please focus on doing that in timed conditions. And trying past papers in different locations also helps because your exam isn't going to be in your home or in your bedroom. Yeah, it will be in an exam hall that you're not that familiar with being in and doing a paper in. And then check the mark schemes really carefully. Go through the mark scheme, look at the examiner's reports that they come with, and also all the stuff on the side that it comes with for what you would get marks for, what you wouldn't. What are the method marks? In maths, you get a lot of method marks. So check the mark schemes very carefully so that you're not just giving yourself marks where you should be and shouldn't be. You know exactly what you get marks for. And then identify the common mistakes, the common topics, and again, where you are going wrong. Is it silly mistakes or is it weakness on a topic? Or is it just that you've never covered that before? So where are you going wrong? Or is it units? Okay, something very small like that. And then again, like I said, on week 2, you want to do active learning. And in this is flashcards. Flashcards are a great example because if you've already got them ready, which you can get a lot of like ready to go packs as well, and you can find some on the internet if you don't have those. When you go through each question, you're testing yourself before you just automatically give yourself the answer. Another one is blurting or revision maths, which I will explain in a bit more detail. And then explaining topics aloud, teaching a peer, teaching your parents, or teaching a friend, just explaining it to anyone. That will really help you as well. So revision mats, they are great. Okay, revision mats are, and I use them a lot in my lessons as well. They are great because they will give you the key kind of information that you would get in a question, but then they will ask you to recall everything on a particular topic. So this one was one of the chemistry ones, and you got all the little subtopics within one topic of, let's say, atomic structure, and then you'll have to do each of the kind of subtopics and answer questions. And then you can do one pen using one color. You'll write what you know, and another color, then going through like textbook and notes and other things. And then blurting is very similar as well. So you take a topic and you blurt out all the information you know. So you'd kind of like, let's say with the waves topic, you create something like this, or I have some available if you'd like them as well, where you know types of waves and it gives you little prompts to go about, and then you write down things that you know based upon that, and then you look at an example of a mind map that's already done and you see what you've missed out. And this will really help you to make associations as well. So, how does electromagnetic waves relate to longitudinal and transverse waves? Okay, so this is for week 2, what is very highly recommended. And then doing targeted topic questions is so important. So solving topical questions. So you take a specific topic in physics or maths, and then you try all the questions. And physics and maths tutor is so good for this. And physics and maths tutor also do biochemistry, and they also do English, I think, as well now. But they specialize in maths and physics. So please use these for topical questions. So once you've done the energy topic or the electricity topic, you want to be able to get right all of these types of questions. And you can do this within 1 or 2 hour revision sessions in one go if it's very clearly planned. Okay, so that should be your week 3 is all the topics that are on your red or amber from your traffic light system, you want to do those intensively, do topical questions and answer them before you look at the mark scheme. Don't try and just open the mark scheme straight away. If you're struggling, try and find the answer, go fishing for it, look in your textbook, look in your notes, and then go through the mark scheme just when you've completed it and you're just checking. And then week 4 again is exam simulation. So repeat the same past paper. Again, you want to focus on timed practice, going through loads and loads of past papers. And this week actually does really help. Reviewing your mistakes, revising key formulas. So if by this point you've made a whole pack of the questions you've got wrong, then you go through these again. And in week 4, please do not learn anything new. Focus on what you already know and consolidating what you already know. Okay? So that's a little framework that really works and that I would like you guys to follow. And then we'll go through how you can structure a revision day. So, setting timings in the day really is important, and this is dependent on your energy levels as well. So, usually, if you know that you're more of a morning person, you want to get your focused revision sessions done in the morning. Okay, so you want to get the hard stuff done in the morning and then use the evening for light review of concepts. And obviously, taking short breaks is really important. And then, if you know that kind of after or in the afternoon you get a bit tired, or in the evening you get a bit tired, you want to maybe have more of the lighter revision done. But look at your hours in the day that you are the freshest, your brain is functioning the most. Use that for the hardest form of revision, which again is doing topical questions and past papers, and then use the times when you feel just really burnt out for light review of your flashcards, and all of that. So you've got we've got what time do you recommend starting? So in the Easter holidays, oh, in the Easter holidays, I think it's good to kind of get started at sort of 9, 10 a.m. I think that's a good start to revision. And it also just depends person to person. But a good amount of revision is 4 to 5 hours of very focused revision. That is what I would personally say. If you can manage that, that's very good. But again, you should be taking breaks in between, because remember that your focus just goes down and down and down. And every time you take a break, you start your focus levels rise again. So having breaks, going for short walks between that time really, really helps. But a 9 a.m. start is, I would say, very, very good. And if you like to wake up a bit later in the holidays and during study leave and things, then 11 I'd say the latest. Okay, and also the 20 to 30 minute study method. This will actually really help you. Don't do a full hour without any breaks. Try and do 20 to 25 or 20 to 30 minutes and then take a short break and then come back. And in the break, try to, avoid screen time, go for a little walk, maybe have a little snack, get refreshed, and then you'll go from, your focus will improve. And then also doing a little bit of uh, active recall type, and then doing some practice questions that will really help as well. Okay, so try to be very, very careful with the kind of studying that you're doing and try to make it as effective as possible. And just an example of, let's say, a 1 hour study session going through density is you'd spend the first 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes understanding the concept. Maybe then you could take a little break, then try some practice questions for the next 20 minutes. and then take a little break again, and then review the mark scheme. And then you can use your highlighter and highlight where you went wrong. Okay, so this is just again a really, really important thing. And also just some common GCSE exam mistakes. A lot of students, they will lose marks because they will forget units or not show working. This is so important, not showing working. Um, a lot of students do this and they lose a lot of marks because of it. And then you've got misunderstand the command words. So, when is it describe? When is it explain? When is it evaluate? What does that mean? And then also just rushing through questions. So, again, just focus on not losing mistakes. We call these silly mistakes. So, try not to have too many silly mistakes that are making you lose marks in an exam. So, just kind of my last advice would be you need to focus on your progress. You don't have to be perfect and get everything right. You need to practice exam questions a lot now in this final 4 weeks because it will give you the idea. And a lot of times, exams will repeat these kind of questions again as well. So, try and focus on the older years of exam questions. Take breaks, avoid burnout. You don't want to revise so much that before your first exam you fall ill. Because in previous years that's happened with students where they have done so much that their first 2 weeks have now just gone with, like, they've still had to turn up to exams, but they've got colds and headaches and all of that from stress. Um, Ask for help. Okay, this, I cannot stress this enough. Where you are going wrong, a teacher, a tutor, a peer, they might be able to help you in 10 minutes and make you understand that. So all you have to do, even if it seems silly that I don't understand this and I'm all the way in year 11 in my final week, just ask for help. It will help you so much, yeah. Um, I honestly, I can't stress this enough. You need to even if you think it's a very silly question, just ask because it will do a lot of good for you. And again, being consistent and doing, I wouldn't say small amounts of study sessions, but I would say don't do too much in one day and nothing the next. Try and do a balanced amount each day. And how parents can help is at this point, it's really important that you can try and maybe help maintain a routine. So parents and guardians can, help the student to plan their revision, help them to create a routine and make it comfortable for them to then follow that routine. And also reduce the pressure. So, you don't want to pressure them so much that that pressure then affects them in the exam, which I guess is quite obvious. But just sort of reducing stress and, taking care of the kind of nutritional, so your body, your brain functions off, good food, a lot of water. So just, making sure that the diets are really good, providing a nice study environment as well. So somewhere that they can work, or whether that means the students need to go to the library and study, they study better there, allowing them to do that, and just offering any sort of support mentally because it can be an incredibly stressful time. You have a lot of exams packed that early week of June, and so it can be very stressful because you might have 2 to 3 subjects of exams in a day. Some subjects they kind of overlap, and so you literally have 3 exams in a day, and you are just completely burnt out that day. So just encouraging and supporting and helping students along the way is going to do a lot. Um, okay, so I will stop there. For those of you, which is just 2 of you, that don't know about the kind of programs which you reached out about, so I can explain those. But Abbas and Omar, that's it then. So I'll let you guys leave, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me as well. Advice on revision techniques, on language, writing, speaking, listening. Okay. I personally, so this is okay, so for languages, I would say, and again, I don't teach languages, but this is just from my own studying. So I've studied a few languages to kind of like an intermediate advanced level. It honestly comes from listening to podcasts, um, just reading and have, and again, consistency helps a lot. And I would say I used AI a lot for when I was learning some of the languages that I know, is AI helps a lot. So practicing conversations with AI in a language, AI is great for that. You can literally ask and it will give you advice on where you went wrong, and all of that. So for speaking and listening, AI is great. And then also for listening, podcasts are great. So just on your way to school, listening to a podcast, I'm sure you've heard of Duolingo and Memrise. They are also really, really great. So apps. But for languages, a lot of stuff on the internet is very helpful. AI is also very helpful for languages, and then some of the apps and stuff. So I'd say that for languages, but I'm not a languages teacher. And yes, okay, Omar, you'll be doing a lot of past papers and a lot of active recall, and you'll be doing no more highlighting and rereading textbooks, yeah? Okay. So, so I'm not too familiar. So, Victoria, do you want to maybe introduce yourself and Charlie?
Hi, so I'm Victoria and this is Charlie and bit camera shy, and we're just working on just trying to find some revision techniques at work, really get
Okay.
Charlie thinking more about it. I don't know, did you want to say anything? No. No, they prefer not to say anything.
And you're in year 11. What sort of grade is Charlie hoping to get?
Five, sixes,
Okay.
Fives or sixes, they say.
And what are you currently getting right now?
mostly fours, a couple fives,
A couple of
Okay.
threes.
one or two threes.
Yeah.
What are you hoping to perhaps do for A level or B Tech, or what are your plans for after?
Um, uh, Engineering T level.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's very new and interesting. That's good. And so obviously for that you're going to need your maths and English, isn't it? You're going to need to
Yeah.
get a good grade in maths and English and the high pass. So that will be important.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
yeah,
you're
so
also thinking physics and
do you,
chemistry would be useful subjects to.
Mm.
I think he's thinking physics and chemistry would also be good subjects to try and make sure he's got a good grade in
yeah,
for
sciences, all of the
engineering.
sciences are really good for, especially for engineering. Yeah, good. Yeah,
Um, yeah, and then the aim is just to not have to take English again as well.
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So you
Yeah.
want to just make sure that you use these 4 weeks to the absolute best of your ability so that you can go into the summer feeling completely relieved, because you're going to have early summer this year as well. So if you work incredibly hard until your final exam, you have a great summer off, and then hopefully you can be really proud of yourself on revision on results day, as well. And open that piece of paper and just not have to resit anything and just be proud of yourself, as well. So again, it's pushing yourself to do that, and then you've got a reward at the end of it as well. Yeah.
So I
But I
guess
hope
maybe one
today,
of the
yeah.
Oh, I was going to say another one, maybe one question is that Charlie's school doesn't do study leave, so he'll
Okay.
still, well, we don't think.
Yeah, some
But
schools
Your
don't do
big
it.
messages.
there's mixed messages apparently. So if he's not having study leave, obviously there won't be the long revision days because they're still at school for 6 hours. So what
Yeah,
would be the best way to use the evenings for revising one? Because the
yeah,
classes that he's going to are not it will be revision in the class. It's not new material, but
yeah.
he'll be getting 6 hours of revision already throughout the day.
Yeah, so the best advice for that is that a lot of times in study leave, you are in a classroom and you have other students there and you have a teacher there. But this most of the time, from kind of my experience of what I know when schools don't offer study leave, is that they will still have that class time to do studying on things that they already need help with. So in that case, it's best to try and not get distracted by people around. Try and use the teacher because, again, if you're struggling on something, you have someone there to help you. But the key thing is using your time in school in that same way, really effectively. And then when you come home, you maybe can do an hour, or if you can manage two, of going through flashcards, or trying a topical question, or whatever you need to when you come home. But again, using your time in school very effectively, not getting distracted, and having a plan for what you're going to do, because usually most of the time teachers just do let them do whatever they want unless they have like a past paper session planned. But then that can be very useful as well. Yeah.
Okay, so even though it would say there's physics from 10 to 11, the teacher would be there, but they'd say, work on your physics and then hope the student worked on their physics,
Yeah,
kind of.
exactly. That's how it is mostly, yeah. Most of the time. And then maybe if the teacher knows that most of the class is struggling on something, they'll go through that. But then that will be helpful, won't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
probably after the first week back, you'll know a bit more about how your classes are being structured for stuff.
yeah. Yeah. And maybe again, like I said, ask the teacher.